All the, sorry, back Patrick, sorry, you've
Yeah.
anticipated me a little.
Sure.
Now look at the level of those dotted lines and the level of the solid lines, and look at the left-hand side. That's your cases per 100 million population. If 5,000 people die in Norway, a population of 5 million, and 5,000 people die in the USA, a population of 320 million, Norway is getting hit a lot worse than the USA. So we have normalized it to 100 million population. So Britain is about two-thirds of that number. So that's 100,000. Our real number will be about 66,000 or something like that per in terms of factors. 66,000 cases, and as you pointed out, whether even if you take 50%, that's 30,000 cases. 5%, as you cited, it's 3,000 cases. So yeah, it's probably more like 30,000 cases. And the mortality for that, you might get 5% of 30,000. So that's 1,500 cases. So those charts show, and I'm probably getting my maths wrong on TV, but you get the idea. They're not 500,000. And most importantly, those curves were real before lockdown. They'll be real through lockdown, and they'll be real after lockdown. We never needed lockdown. We walked into our homes solely because they invented a crisis. And to see how unreasonable that invention is, look at the dotted pink line at the top. That, and remember, this is a log scale, that is the 40 million or so cases that would account for the deaths, 550,000 deaths that they need. Look at the curve. It's not even close. It's out by a magnitude of 100. It's purely fraudulent invention. And I'm afraid that is the story, and it's as simple as that. We are facing another WMD. So, up to you, carry on. We can move on to the next slide if you like. Any
Yep. So,
questions?
yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Explain to us what's happening here, Andrew.
Okay, so for this again has a number of different things which are really important. Um, Firstly, our friends in America, the sort of medium blue, and Canada, the red. These guys, like us, but I think even more so, have been massively on the be scared, lock down, be scared. I hear that men are cutting down trees armed with guns to stop people leaving villages. Well, all that I can say is all that their be scared narrative has achieved is to basically delay the inevitable, create a great deal of difficulty and hardship for their country, but look at the way they're pointing. They're climbing rapidly to join Hubei and Italy. And let's talk about Hubei. China lied. Well, if China said we had 10 people die, and actually it was 1,000, then we will rapidly go past 10 people and say, hey, China lied. But you look at that orange curve, only Italy has gone past Hubei, only Italy. Everyone else, and we're all basically headed for Hubei. China didn't lie. They gave us excellent data to measure the likely chance of deaths and cases. And it was the UK government that lied. Simply, absolutely pure invention. Simple as that. Now, if I can go back to that chart for a second, if you can, unless you want to shut me down, but that's cool. Now, let's look at that light blue line, right? Let's pretend, look at the slowdown. That's lockdown. Well done. Bravo. Slowed everything down. No, that's Sweden. Zero preventative measures. They have curled over really rapidly. They're curling over, so they're going to flatten out way below America and probably below Canada. So Sweden basically said, yeah, okay, it's a virus. Let's have it. So they are pretty much done. They're going to end up with a lower number of cases, and they have none of the economic damage or the political or democratic damage that our governments have created. So these graphs prove, and they were available to the government long before they chose to lock us down, these charts prove that the government basically lied, created a scenario that was completely overwhelmingly scary, completely unnecessary, and that we're headed right where we were going to be headed anyway, and they are going to take the credit for saving us when they didn't do a damn thing but scare the hell out of us. That's
So,
it.
so, Andrew, that brings up a question. I'll just bring up this image here of the Nightingale Hospital, which they're building in the Excel Center in London. And this is really a lot in the news right now. There's a lot of discussion and hype about this new hospital facility, this temporary hospital that's got thousands of beds, going to require 16,000 NH staff, according to Sky News here. So, based on the numbers that you showed us, Andrew, and you're saying that Europe's kind of in the process of already curling over, or these numbers would have already been able to be calculated weeks ago, if not longer. Who do they expect to put in these thousands of beds in this hospital, or is this just a photo op? This is the big question.
That,
What do you think?
that's an awesome question, um, and I'll tell you. Sadly, I don't have the link on this computer. I'm sure you'll find it. American reporters and I mean reporters, men on the street. When you had that, I think it was the CBS that had they used the Italian footage to show the crisis in the American hospitals.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Um, and it's a wonderful clip, and you'll have to link it up and show it to people later. But basically, it's an awesome YouTube clip, and they've got the mayor of New York is like, "What use is 300 ventilators? I need 30,000 ventilators." And they show the news clips and here's the line of people at the COVID processing center, and there's this hospital is overwhelmed. And then you get the guy that lives in Brooklyn goes to the local Brooklyn hospital the next day with his phone camera, and the waiting room is deserted. The COVID line is deserted. And you've got a guy in Queens, and he goes to the hospital the next day after the news report, and the place is deserted. And you've got all these Americans, I mean, bless you for common sense, all these Americans going along the day after the crisis that is reported in the news, and the hospitals are deserted. So,
Yeah.
you know what?
Yeah.
If you see a crowd in that Princess Elizabeth or, whatever it is, hospital thing, if you see a crowd, I would stop them at the exit, follow them home, check their resume, see if they advertise on Freelancer as actors or whether they got paid 50 quid. Because seriously, if American citizens, God bless you, are going along and finding empty hospitals the day after the crisis, either the medical system is so extraordinary or it's yet more fakery. And here's the good news about this entire crisis. Provided that you get this message out, this generation will have its WMD. It first alarmed me and then amuses me that